One of the many lockdown learnings forced upon us by the pandemic is that we can accomplish most tasks remotely. Simple presentations or complex data can be delivered and debated with ease, whilst project teams needing the power of Microsoft Whiteboard to ideate and collaborate are delivered effortlessly by Microsoft Surface Hub 2S. Facial expressions and body language deliver a more complete message, clear for all when displayed on the 4K resolution screen. Installing Windows 10 Pro or Enterprise enables individuals to use any application on their Surface Hub 2S, and the addition of a fingerprint reader optimizes security and personal use. Now, more than ever, flexible workspaces are essential. Adding a steel case roam stand and APC battery enables true mobility. You stay connected to the people, process and content, allowing the workspace to change, whilst features such as proximity join and coordinated join deliver the best possible meeting experience for all. Finally, keeping all information secure is critical, so once the meeting is concluded, a simple confirmation of End Meeting ensures all information is removed and the Surface Hub 2S is ready for the next meeting. Real world, real interaction. Surface Hub 2S bridges the digital and physical divide in today's hybrid workplaces, further enhanced by the global availability of Microsoft Surface Hub 2S 85-inch in 2021.
Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. I am Namitha Matthews and I'm the APAC Channel Marketing Manager for Surface, covering the Greater Asia region in New Zealand. So don't be surprised if I'm a bit of an unfamiliar face to our wonderful partners and distributors joining us from Australia. Now, if you've joined us for the last two webinars, then welcome back and thank you. We hope you've been taking tremendous value away from this series. And if this is your first session, we're very excited to have you here. Hub in a Hybrid World is actually a brand new partner enablement program and series that Microsoft is landing jointly with our amazing partners over here at Collabtech. Now, as you guys already know, Collabtech is one of our expert training providers on modern solutions with Surface and M365. So really stoked to be here with our great partners at Collabtech. Now, we want to continue to support our partners with the right information and the right content to really help you guys and enable you to engage with your customers. So this series and this program is actually another step in this direction, where we focused on Surface Hub 2S and highlighting the different prioritized industries where we see tremendous opportunities for especially our collaboration solutions like Surface Hub and Microsoft Teams that we truly believe can add and help our customers. Now, we've covered two different industries in the last two webinars, and these were education and manufacturing. And today our focus shifts to the financial sector, which actually in itself has many different verticals in it, all with a variety of challenges that's very unique to those verticals in itself. So together with the first-hand knowledge from Collabtech and their unique perspective, we've actually put together a great lineup of content that we hope you enjoy and learn from today. So with that, I'm going to pass over to our first speaker for the day. Andrew, if you are ready, let me pass over to you to kick us off.
Great, and thank you very much, Namitha, for the warm welcome. It's great to be back presenting to partners again. We really do enjoy doing these events. So today we're partners, as Namitha mentioned, from right around the region, stretching from New Zealand, Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand and Korea, just to name a few. So welcome aboard everyone. I'm Andrew Fletcher, I'm the SVP International for Collabtech. And today we have a range of presenters and content to cover for the topic Hub in a Hybrid World, specifically for the financial services sector. In today's webinar, we will provide a range of insights into markets and trends, ways to improve collaboration, and examples of how to engage in collaboration effectively. The financial services market consists of revenues of financial entities or money-related service providers who engage in activities such as lending, superannuation, investment management, insurance, brokerage, payments, and funds transfer services. As a secure traditional market, the industry is highly regulated to protect the finances it's responsible for, with many processes, compliance, and robust audit trails which are commonplace. The global financial services market is expected to grow from 20 trillion last year to 22 trillion this year at a compound annual growth rate of around 6%. And this growth is mainly going to come from companies rearranging their operations and who are recovering from COVID-19 impact, which last year had led to restrictive containment measures. Changes in the environment which had to be addressed included social distancing, remote working, and the reduction of some commercial activities which had operational challenges. In terms of the growth, between 40 to 56% is predicted will originate in APAC during this forecast period. The market growth in our region will be the fastest compared to all others. Banks and financial institutions are adopting digitisation to modernise their commercial lending practices. Many wealth management companies are investing in big data analytics capabilities to generate customer insights around product penetration, analysis of training program effectiveness, and client engagements. It is a complex industry. However, the impact of the last 12 months, plus the mounting market pressures to adapt to change, has meant the need for high quality, secure collaboration has never been greater. As the financial services industry covers such a large number of verticals, it's good to look from a high level of where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. I do love this slide as it provides a snapshot into these main themes for the financial services sector. As financial services firms look to a future that balance remote and in-office work, banks in fact have almost a once in a lifetime opportunity right now to review how they operate and think about the future. Pre-COVID, the industry tended to be seen as slow to change, with the need for careful consideration of security and compliance. Combined with a reputation for slower uptake on technology, led not just to a risk-averse environment, but also a change-adverse one. However, in the last decade, changes to the traditional industry model were already under pressure. The rise of fintechs challenged established business models with low-cost bases, with their delivery of services undercutting high fixed cost based models, such as neobanks, who only have a digital presence. This pressure also was increased and felt through the impact of more sophisticated digital attempts to break through security and increasing requirements of financial regulators. From a worker's perspective, there were obvious moves to enable employees, especially around providing greater access to information remotely. Last year, the impact of COVID was real, and it is now, and has forced change at a speed the industry thought previously wasn't actually possible. In a recent conversation, a business owner in the sector described how that working from home would never have happened in his company without COVID, as he would have had to move his workforce from offsite to try it, which never would have taken that risk. A large part of this dynamic change has been around the move to virtual customer engagements, which mean aligning security and compliance rules. Suddenly, the industry has moved from being slow and cautious to having to embrace rapid change by combining velocity and security. As we move to the new world, we'll see permanent changes, and we expect to see the hybrid environment with the dispersed workforce as the norm. There will be a focus on fluid, real-time engagement, which will be centered around trusted and secure platforms. Employees will need to be digitally connected to do their jobs, talk to customers, and be constantly upskilling, tested, and accredited. Technology will be the enabler. Teams as a platform is being adopted as a secure multitask option, enabling the industry to operate in today's hybrid world, but also shaping the future workplace. Collaboration products like Microsoft Service Hub are bringing together diverse stakeholders in collaborative decision-making environments by connecting the workforce. Microsoft Service Hub is a collaboration device with an advanced integrated solution and onboard Office apps, which simplifies and facilitates good team collaboration with creative meetings. Examining areas such as digital transformation of the workforce, innovative product offerings, business model relationships, and collaborative operating platforms will be fundamental for the financial services sector's ability to reinvigorate post-lockdown restrictions beginning to ease on the back of the COVID-19 pandemic. So to highlight this and to put into action and how better to understand how collaboration can be used to reimagine a range of these business processes for the financial services industry, I'm going to hand over to Daniel Acock, one of our senior collaboration specialists, who'll take a closer look at the Surface Hub and how to manage effective collaboration with some use cases in hybrid environments. Over to you, Dan.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And before I kick off, I just want to encourage everybody who's watching to ask as many questions as you can. We'll have the lovely Michelle monitoring the chat. So if you've got any questions at any time, please pop it down in that Q&A section and we'll do our best to either answer it at the end of the session or answer it immediately during the session if you've got content specific questions. So with that out of the way, yes, my name is Daniel. I'm a senior collaboration specialist with CollabTech, and what I wanted to do today was show everybody some demos that I've seen from real life clients in the financial sector of ways that they've been using the Surface Hub. And so hopefully you guys can use these demos too when you go out into the field. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is privacy and security. This is a huge thing, and with every client without exception, financial environments are very locked down. The Surface Hub fits perfectly into this environment because of the custom OS that it's running. It's called Windows 10 Team. Now, what I'm going to do is just change my view so you can actually see what it looks like on the Surface Hub. Now, if you have a look, you'll be able to see that. Oh, no, oh, okay. You'll be able to see that there's no search bar here on the screen. There is no way to enter any sort of command prompts as an end user. If I try and get into the settings, it's going to prompt me for an admin login. So as an end user, what I have access to are the apps that are installed on this device, and that is it. I can't put other applications on a thumb drive and put it in the back of the device. It won't read them. It won't run exe files. It won't run scripts. In addition to this, so there's no way for an end user to basically change the way that this device functions at all or access anything that they shouldn't. Without signing in, these devices are basically just kiosks, right? You need to sign in, you need to authenticate to pull down any sort of network resources, any files, any information from the, the tenant, the company who owns this device. In addition to this, any changes that I make, any files that I download, if I go into the browser and I change the home page and I download some files and etc., all of this is permanently wiped as soon as I hit end session or I power this device down. If this gets to 0, or if I press yes, everything on this device is permanently deleted. It's a 128 gig SSD. It is non-recoverable. So every single user can use this device knowing that nobody else will know who's been using it and what they've been doing. And every single administrator and every single company who acquires Surface Hubs will know that there's no way that people can hack into their network using these devices. They're really secure, they're really locked down. So that's a really big benefit in the financial sector. Now, the next step is looking cool while you're presenting, using these things to present data. Surface Hubs have a 4K screen. So it's a 50-inch 4K screen. The fidelity is great and it looks really wonderful. If we combine this high fidelity with the ability to ink onto our presentations, right, I get that factor of having it look nice, but also I can mark this up in real time. And if I can combine that with, say, let's jump on a call. All right. So I can be on a call with my workmates, with my clients. Hello, Nixon. Good morning. Welcome to the sales meeting. I can be presenting to people in the same room too, which is the hybrid environment that we're really talking about. Nixon is going to be getting just as good a view as everybody else in the room, and he'll see all of these changes that I make on this PowerPoint in real time. So for presenting data, the Surface Hub being a Windows device, comes inbuilt with some really fantastic software that we can use to present data. One of them is Power BI. So I can be here, I'll share my screen so Nixon can see what's going on. And here I can really dig into data. All right, we can have a look at what's happening with our downtime and the percentages and what each one means. It's a nice, vibrant screen. It looks really good. And Power BI is just one of those applications that really shines on the hub. The same thing goes for Excel. And this is another thing where I can actually have two separate lots of information and data up on the screen, and I can be highlighting this one as I go. Let's get that. And it creates this fantastic level of interactivity. If we want to take it a step further, we can jump on a whiteboard together and we can mark this data up as well. So that form factor, the actual hardware, the 4K screen combined with the ability to dual screen while I'm sharing the screen and mark up really specific information is something that I've seen a lot of people use in the financial sector. And so presenting on them is great. Now, another thing that's really important to talk about while we're presenting is fidelity and the image size. There have been reports come out, people get Zoom fatigue. And this happens when, unlike a face-to-face conversation, if a picture isn't large enough and it's not clear enough, I can't pick up subtle non-verbal cues. It's harder to see body language, which feeds us a lot of information. If we're in a high-pressure environment, like a financial environment, we're trying to close deals, we're trying to pick up little bits of information from people just by the way they react, the Surface Hub's going to allow you to do that because it's so big and the image is so nice. And that's a really big thing, especially when you've got executive level guys who want to have meetings and can just read people's minds by looking at the way they react to certain things. Now, one other thing I do see, I have seen some financial clients doing, is they will have a meeting, they'll have some ideas, and they'll construct a dreamscape using the whiteboard. So Nixon's going to be our demo client here, and I've seen this happening where we're, okay, I'm going to give you financial advice on buying a house. I'm going to present my screen so you can see what's happening. We've got a few things here. We've got your dream image. I've got some images of interest rates that I've pulled in using the Edge browser. We've got our ink to table showing us our budget and what our financial constraints are, and then we've got a note grid. Now we're going to use this this combination basically of having the whiteboard, but having Nixon remote. He could do this in person, but he's also doing it remotely, and we can talk through it. So I can say, all right, Nixon, we've got your beautiful dream house here. It's very nice, 2 stories. What are some really important considerations for you when you're buying a house?
Proximity to public transport.
Transport. Yeah. All right. So hold that thought. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull up the map. Here's our house, and now we can figure out some public transport. So Nixon, you can see the map that I'm presenting, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So I have to know there's a bus stop here, there's a bus stop here, and there's a bus stop here. These all go to the airport, and then they go right into town. And I think the closest train station is in Helensvale. Let's have a look. So we'll go Helensvale train station. Because you, like everybody else in the country, have decided to move to the Gold Coast. All right, so there's a Helensvale train station, and we can zoom out and we can see exactly how close that is to your house. So we'll just grab a quick measurement. So as a crow flies, it's about 20 Ks. If you wanted to drive there from your house, it's going to take you about 27 minutes. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Let's take a quick screenshot of that. We'll just capture that so we've got that. What else? What other sort of considerations have you got, Nixon?
Proximity to school.
Yeah, schools.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I happen to know that there are some pretty good schools just near the house. So let's have a look at that. For this one, you'd actually be in the catchment area for Palm Beach Primary, which is right here. So that's great. That's quite close to where you are. All right. Oh, great. Alrighty, so let's go Palm Beach Primary. All right, we'll take a screenshot of that. Anything else?
What about the crime rates?
Crime rates. Good question. All right, so let's jump onto Edge. We'll pull up that data right now so you can see it. Crime rates.
Dan, I think you should just check your camera. Right now, I think it's just showing the Surface Hub as a blank screen. Oh, that's perfect, Dan.
Thank you for that. All right, and so we can use the Surface Hub now to pull up crime stats for Palm Beach. This has pulled up Florida crime stats, which is shocking, but we'll just go with that anyway, and we'll take a little. We'll copy that. All right, so. There we go. We'll pull that down there. And so this is an actual example of the way I've seen a financial planner use the hub and combine Teams and the whiteboard and Edge all at the same time to create a really interactive, dynamic meeting with their client. If we take it a step further, now that Nixon's on board, Nixon, would you like to buy the house? Would you like to engage my services as a financial planner?
Yep.
Great. If so, there's a document, it's a contract. I'm going to pull it into the whiteboard so you can see what it looks like. So just take a moment, have a look at that. And while you're having a read through that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick it to you in Teams. I can send this document to Teams, via Teams, to Nixon in real time so that we can keep our basically our sales momentum up, just as I would if Nixon was in front of me. You know, I can get him interested, I can get him on board, and then I will just send him that contract. So go, all right, Nixon, I've dropped that contract in the Teams chat. Please just sign it when you can and get it back to me. We can get the process underway. So that's, basically a really good demo that I like to show a lot of people how you can combine all of the things on the Surface Hub in a financial environment. So you've got security combined with fidelity, combined with the ability to still keep people engaged while they're in a hybrid environment, land the deal, get them to sign, and that's all the stuff you can do on the Surface Hub. They're the demos I've seen, so I hope that helps you guys, have some ideas of the ways that you can showcase a Surface Hub in a financial environment. So, thank you very much, Nixon. I'll let you get back to your day.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
So now that we've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick highlight reel that the guys in the US have put together of how you can use the Surface Hub in a financial environment.
And insurance organisations have all adapted to a hybrid way of working with colleagues dispersed across branches, working from home, or attending customer locations. The Microsoft Surface Hub 2S revolutionises collaboration, together with Microsoft Teams and native applications such as Power BI. Multiple pieces of content from both in-room and remote participants can be shared and combined, creating new insights and actions. The 85-inch canvas on the Surface Hub 2S delivers a stage ready to compare and contrast information, side by side, even incorporating live data from the internet. These companies need a solution that brings teams together, pull and analyse key financial data to contribute to reports and presentations, ultimately creating dialogue between multiple stakeholders. For ultimate mobility, the addition of a roam stand from Steelcase and a battery from APAC delivers complete, cable-free workspace flexibility. A recently introduced feature, Proximity Join, connects the participant to the meeting at the touch of a button using Bluetooth beaconing functionality. The Surface Hub 2S, in a hybrid financial world, delivers secure access to collaborative work, and once the meeting is concluded, a simple confirmation of end meeting ensures all information is removed and the Surface Hub 2S is ready for the next engagement. Real world, real interaction. Surface Hub 2S bridges the digital and physical divide in today's hybrid workplaces, further enhanced by the global availability of Microsoft Surface Hub 2S 85-inch in 2021.
Great, thank you for that, Michelle. Now what we've got, guys, is just a quick video to show you some demos on the 85-inch Surface Hub. We've got our friends over in America to record these ones, so I'm just going to talk over some key points as that video clicks through, so you guys can get a really good idea of how to utilize an 85-inch hub in a financial environment. So a big thing that you can see with the 85 is obviously the size difference. This is the big thing that we're talking about. It's the whole reason it exists. You can go from something like a Surface Hub 50, which is this great versatile roaming device, and the 85 is a roaming device too, but the 85 becomes a wall. It is a wall for collaboration, and it is really impressive. And this is a big thing that large companies are talking about. Now, going back to that point I was talking about before about being able to see people's body language during a call. If you notice, the caller who Chris is talking to is actually larger than he would be in real life. So if you are talking to someone and you need to pick up extra cues, having an 85 makes that so much easier. And you can have 6, 9 people on a call, and they're going to be life size essentially. So you have that accuracy in your communication, which just makes things everything a bit better. You can see now how Chris is presenting financial data. He's got the whiteboard up at the same time. It's the amount of space and data that you can now present in one shot is huge. It is ginormous. So you don't have to worry so much about scrolling through data and sort of being confined by your screen real estate, because with the 85, it is absolutely ginormous. So you've got all the same functionality that you would with a 50-inch screen. You've got things like the ability to mirrorcast and then control your device from the laptop. So this adds sort of that extra layer of impressiveness, where if you are wanting to impress clients with a ginormous 85-inch Surface Hub, you can also interact with that device from wherever you are using Mirrorcast. And I see people presenting with this a lot. They'll look straight at the camera, they'll have their device in their palm while they're panning and interacting with it, while they're mirrorcasting up to the Surface Hub. So they don't even have to look at what they're presenting. They can look straight at the people, straight at the audience, gauge their responses, and they can see the actual material that's being presented behind them. You've got Chris here showing how you can do things like take screenshots of data, pull that over. So that combination of Power BI, which is great for your data visualization, you can hook that in with the whiteboard and then start marking that up with your remote participants, just as Chris is doing now. The weight and the size of the Surface Hub is fairly significant. However, you're still able to mount it on a roam stand. It can still be a mobile device, which is incredible. There's several different ways that you can mount the Surface Hub. You can either have it on a roam stand moving around. You can wall mount the Surface Hub still, provided you've got nice strong anchor points in the wall. You need to make sure you get your stud finder out for that. Or you can have a combination of the two, where you have it basically on a roam stand that's partially tethered to the wall. So you can get a sort of a bit of both, best of both worlds there. You can see there in the image, you've got that that roam stand on the 85. So it's amazing that they've been able to get such an impressively large machine and still keep it mobile, which is one of like the really core elements of why the Surface Hub is so good. You don't need to have it stuck in one room. You can have it in one room for one meeting and then roll it into another room for a completely different meeting of a completely different type. So yeah, that's the Surface Hub. We've got the same hardware, basically the built-in audio, the 4K camera, the 4K plus screen. You've got 20-point multi-touch, which is a huge one on the Surface Hub, because it means that unlike the 50, where you probably just want one, maybe two people in front of it, on an 85, you can get 3-4 people in front of that device all marking up at the same time. So everything really becomes a lot more interactive on a Surface Hub. And if you've got an 85-inch Surface Hub, you can have an entire team of people working on one thing at the same time while they're talking to each other, while they're talking to someone else who's on Teams. It really is quite impressive. So that being said, I'd like to throw it over to you guys for some Q&A. Please throw any questions you have down in the chat, yeah, we'd love to answer them.
Dan, can you explain the difference between Win 10 Pro and Win 10 Teams on the Surface?
Yeah, really good question. So Win 10 Teams is the current operating system that this Surface Hub is running. It's the one that's really secure, it's really private, it's designed sort of like a kiosk in that nobody can change the way it functions, they can't access anything they should, and they can't hack the device. And you've got that ability just to tap that end session button and permanently wipe everything. I'll do that for you now so you can see what's happening while it's in the background while I talk. We have had times when we've had execs, high-level people who say, you know what, I want my own Surface Hub, and I don't want to have to keep signing in every time I want to look at my documents. I just want this to be my device. So for those guys, what you can do is install Windows 10 Pro, Windows 10 Enterprise on the Surface Hub. So it essentially becomes their Surface Hub, and the interface will look like a regular Windows 10 machine. You'll have your start bar and all of your applications. Any files that you save will stay on that device. You can customize it completely to your liking, and those changes will be saved. Now, they've combined that ability for Windows 10 Pro, that customization, that personalization of those machines with the security of the Surface Hub. So you can have things like an on-screen pin, so that when you walk away from the hub while it's running Windows 10 Pro, it'll lock the screen and someone else can't come up and access your information. They'll need the on-screen pin. They've taken that idea a step further, and they've actually combined the Surface Hub with a thumbprint reader, fingerprint reader that just plugs into the side. It's a USB-C attachment. You just walk up and tap the side of the screen and you're in, you're unlocked. So they're very different use case scenarios. One is really for someone who wants a private Surface Hub. They really want to impress people. They love the big screen, and it does happen a lot. The other one, that's Windows 10 Pro. The other scenario is when you have a Surface Hub that's being utilized by as many people as you can in your organization. It's rolling around on the roam stand from different rooms, different meetings, different scenarios. That's when you want Windows 10 Team, because it's secure and it's safe and it's designed for everybody to use it.
How about attachment of microphones and speakers? Can we use additional microphones and speakers?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So the Surface Hub by itself comes with everything that you need AV wise. You've got a camera, you've got microphones, you've got speakers, you've got motion sensors, etc. So it's a standalone solution as it is. However, if you want to combine it with other AV products, you can also do that. So let's say if we're in a large auditorium and the speakers and the mic and the camera won't quite cut it for a room of that size, you can wheel the Surface Hub in and then either connect it by USB-C or USB-A to a part of a larger AV system, provided that AV system can run Teams as it is. We've got a lot of clients with large, say, rally cams, quite a really chunky barrel of a camera that's wall mounted. You can plug that straight into the Surface Hub, and the Surface Hub will just pick up and use that camera. So you can do that. Alternatively, you can combine these with existing video conferencing solutions. So with something like Coordinated Join, You can roll the Surface Hub into a room that's already got a large VC system installed. It's running Teams, and you can join both the Surface Hub and the VC system that's present in the same meeting, and then use the Surface Hub as a collaborative machine. So you'd use the AV that's already installed, and you've just got that great interface. In addition, you can get a small adapter. It's just about a $10 cord. You can plug into the back of the Surface Hub, and that'll allow you to shoot the video from the Surface Hub out to something like a projector. So you can just plug in an HDMI cord, and you can use the Surface Hub to present, and it'll project to the much larger screen while you're sending the audio out via USB-C to the existing audio system that's there. Any other questions?
Do you know when we can get the 85-inch, or when it will be available in the market?
Not soon enough. No, I'll throw that question over to Namitha, since she is the Microsoft rep, and I'll let her tell you where you can get your hands on one.
I knew that question was definitely coming my way, Dan. Look, I know we've got about 7 or 8 different countries on the webinar today. So I think the best way to approach that question would be to ask all of you guys to revert back to your distributors from a general availability perspective. I know different markets fall into different weights, as we call them here at Microsoft. Some markets like Australia and New Zealand fall earlier in that window in comparison to the other markets. So do check in with your distributors, and they would have more details on the exact ship dates and when you can start placing those orders. Dan, I do see another question for you here in the chat window. I don't know if this was addressed. How far can the far-field microphone pick up on the 85-inch Surface Hub?
Really good question. Really good question. The far-field mics are they're really good. They're excellent. They use MEMS technology, which is microelectronic mechanical systems, which means that the components of the mics, some of them are less than 1 millimeter in size. They're really amazing mics. But in short, you can pick up people speaking at a reasonable volume quite clearly for anywhere up to say about, I'd guess and say about maybe 5 meters from experience. That you can use Surface Hubs, especially 85s. You can use them in medium to large rooms without the need for additional mics. Anything bigger than that, if we're talking really large conference rooms and things like that, you might want to include some mics with it. But for, as I said, you can get about 5 or 6 meters range, and that's someone speaking at regular volume. You don't have to increase your volume and shout if you're on the other end of the room. But yeah, great question. Thank you for the question. I always appreciate them.
Cool, thanks, Dan. Hey, doesn't look like we have any other questions in the chat window, unless there was anything at your end, Michelle?
No, I think we're just very excited to get that 85-inch out and then for everybody to experience the new Microsoft Surface Hub 85-inch.
For sure, lots of excitement across all of our markets. And look, I just want to say a massive thank you to Daniel, Andrew, and Michelle, yourself as well. Just a massive thank you to the whole CollabTech team for partnering with us on this Hub in a Hybrid World series and program as a whole. As I mentioned at the start of the webinar as well, look, there is so much more to the program than the webinars in itself. So do make sure that you join and sign up for the program, get access to all the amazing content and collateral that we're releasing as part of the series. And if you have missed out on the last 2 webinars, keep in mind that everything is recorded and available on demand for you. So keep an eye out for those emails where you can access, including today's session as well. And lastly, we do have one more webinar part of the series next Wednesday, I believe, same time. So we look forward to seeing you guys join us, where we tackle public sector as a prioritized industry. So far we've covered education, manufacturing, financial services today, and the last one in the series we have public sector. So we look forward to, yeah, sure.
There are additional questions just came in. So they were asking
awesome.
about battery and if the Surface Hub is easy to disassemble or transport.
Awesome. We love questions. So, Daniel, I'm going to pass these back to you.
Thank you very much. At present, the APAC, the battery isn't available for the 85-inch, not yet. Regarding transport of them, it's actually been done really well. Microsoft have it's quite amazing. There's a really good video out there that shows how they can move them around, but I'll talk you through it. The packaging for the 85 is also the transport mechanism. The packaging comes with different sets of wheels inbuilt. So essentially, you roll the completely packaged 85 to where you'd like to unpack it, rip all the packaging off. Then inside that, there are more wheels on further packaging, and you can actually tilt the Surface Hub 85-inch on its end, and it's just big enough that it'll fit through an elevator. So you can bring it up the elevator to where you like on those wheels, and then once you've wheeled it to its final location, that's when you can mount it either on the wall or on the roaming legs. So yeah, the entire transport solution is part of the packaging with the Surface Hub. And it's been designed specifically so that you can get it into elevators and through doorways and things like that. It's really impressive. What was the other question? Oh, no, that's it. There's just those two.
Yeah, it looks like it's just those two, Daniel. Let me just double check that I haven't missed any at my end. Michelle, if you want to just double check at your end as well.
I think that's it.
Awesome. Okay, so I think with that, team, we can wrap up for today. Thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate and value your engagement on these webinars and series. And thank you, Collabtech team, for your partnership. And we will see you all back here next Wednesday, same time. Thank you, team.
Thanks, Namitha.